If anyone can't tell, I love Mario Kart. It's such a fun game to play. And besides, judging from all the videos that I've made about the Mario Kart games, I'm pretty sure you would assume that I love playing Mario Kart. It's honestly the best kart racing franchise out there. Hey Thunder, I just ordered Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing, and I was wondering if you wanted to play the game with me so that we can do a Thunder reviews on it. Sonic and Sega... What the f*** have you been smoking? There's a Sonic racing game? Apparently, it's been out for the longest. I feel like you should play it. Nah, I think I'll just stick to my Mario Kart games. Say, when are we gonna do the next Mario Kart review? Oh yeah, it's always gotta be Mario Kart. You know, give me about 2 weeks and I can prove to you that this comparison between Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing and Mario Kart are dramatic. Really now? Alright, when did the game come out? It came out in 2010. Alright then. I'll put on Mario Kart Wii for this comparison, and if you can prove me wrong, we'll make a review on this game. Sounds fair? Alright, it's a deal. Alright, we got the mic set? Alright. Okay. 3, 2, 1, action. I have to say, both of these games in their own ways are very enjoyable. However, one of them is better than the other. So, things are going to work quite differently today. I'm going to be presenting the facts on the Mario Kart Wii side, while my slave, excuse me, I mean my best friend Rob, is going to be on the Sonic and Sega side. And only one of these games will win. We'll be comparing them by 5 categories, and those are the characters, the courses, the music, the unlockables, and last but not least, the experience. Without further ado, this is Mario Kart Wii vs Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing. The Mario Kart roster has been known to be quite huge. The characters in Mario Kart Wii aren't actually that bad if you come think about it. On the other hand, the Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing has its set of characters along with some other Sega characters because, well, it's Sonic and Sega. Or does it? On exclusive versions of the Sonic racing game, there are characters that have made appearances like Banjo-Kazooie on the 360, along with Metal Sonic as well. Mario Kart Wii, yes, there is your typical Mario characters, but you also get the introduction of characters like Baby Daisy. Baby f***ing Daisy! Now what the f*** is this shit? What are you complaining? It's not like Dry Bowser, Baby Rosalina. Hey, that's Mario Kart 8 though. And mother f***ing Pink Gold Peach. Okay, you got me there. It did lead to the introduction of many characters that none of us asked for. But hey, what about the Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing? There's characters like Banjo who isn't even from Sonic. Banjo's on Xbox. That's why they included him specifically on Xbox only. But it's Sonic and Sega, not Sonic and Friends All-Star. Oh, please, you want to bring up Mario Kart 8? I could use that same logic with that game, you know. You know what? You are correct, but here's the thing. Mario Kart Wii has the characters you need because, well, there's only one version. As for Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing, we're talking from the base form, meaning anything exclusive towards a certain version is not accountable. Yes, that does mean that Banjo and Metal Sonic, despite the fact that they were really cool characters to play as at the time, are not included because it's exclusive towards the Xbox. So I'm sorry to say this, Rob, but the whole Metal Sonic and Banjo are out the window. So what other characters does this game offer in its base form? Let me think. I know, I don't think you remember this, but the characters have special attacks, or as you call them, special items. Oh yeah, I forgot that was a thing. Yes, I think the Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing game won this category. Each and every individual character has their own special moves that can be performed during a race. And while Mario Kart Wii does have the variety of karts and bikes, which I will admit is cool, the characters in Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing have their own unique kart, bikes, and hovercrafts that you can use. Not only that, but there's more variety to choose from in Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing, whereas in Mario Kart Wii, you technically get the same old returning characters. Like, where's the Pianta from Super Mario Sunshine? Where's Petey Piranha from Mario Kart Double Dash? Where the f*** did Kamek go, who was originally planned for Mario Kart 64? Yeah, I think I can start seeing your point. So, in conclusion, point goes to Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing. Alright, what do we have next on this list? Well then, this is gonna be quite difficult than expected. The courses in both of these games are actually quite hard to compare. Sure, there are more courses in Mario Kart Wii than there are in Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing, but maybe in this case, it could be the quality over quantity. So what I've decided is that we're going to run down a few basic course categories. Ready, Rob? Sure. I don't know how this is going to work, but we'll see. First course starter is always a good one to start at. Luigi's Circuit is honestly quite boring. It's just one loop and there's nothing to go off of. Whale Lagoon is actually not so bad for a first course. I mean, you have the giant whale jumping out of nowhere, and while it is somewhat of a loop, at least it's quite bright in detail when racing. Bowser's Castle has always had its variations throughout the series. This Bowser's Castle is one of the best courses in this game. You enter the castle, you are then greeted with areas to do tricks, and then you see a giant freaking Bowser spitting out fireballs at you, and then towards the end, you see the lava firing out. Now, dang, that is some good level design. Turbine Loop is actually pretty dark. You see a lot of Eggman's machines throughout the whole course, and it gives the feeling of playing the old Sonic games when you've reached near the end. Although the course does seem quite flat after playing the first lap, and the music is alright. I see it very traditional to always have a snow course. DK Summit did a pretty good job, as there is a cannon where you get launched by at the beginning and so many different areas you can do tricks and get shortcuts from. Icicle Valley is actually quite an interesting snow course out of all the snow courses on this game. This course is actually pretty fast, I have to say so myself. Once you finish the whole course, it feels like you've just only gone through one lap, which is actually quite interesting in its own self. And also, did I forget to mention that the background is actually really cool to look at? I'll be honest, while Moonview Highway does look cool from the outside, in the inside, it's actually quite meh for a city course. I mean, the night background does give it a bit of a detail, but other than that, the cars driving around and the occasional boost, it's meh to say the least. Jump Parade takes this course in a way where you're in a Mexican looking area. Excuse me, sir, you don't talk about my country like that, you got that, sir? Or robot, or whatever the you are? Who the hell are you? Ooh, my name is Juan Pablo Gringo Salvador. Go back to the wall where you belong! Anyways, as I was saying, the course shows the city in a way where you are on top of the buildings for the most part. The background is actually quite distracting, come to think of it, considering you have all the colorful buildings sticking out and dancing radios, and I'll admit, while it is quite distracting, it is designed really well. Also, I forgot to mention this city course, which I do really like the feel of it, and I also do like how the way this course is designed, so 2 courses in one, I think we're off to a pretty good roll. There's always that one haunted course in every one of these racing games. Mario Kart Wii doesn't seem to have that. The only one that comes even close is SNES Ghost Valley 2, and even then, that doesn't even hold up too much. On Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing, there's a course called Outer Forest, which is basically a haunted forest, but it is far more superior compared to SNES Ghost Valley 2. So looking from all the courses we reviewed, I think both me and you can say that there's a lot more better courses on Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing. I mean, the basic traditional courses on Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing seem to have a really good representation. Point goes to Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing. That's my line! Okay, if I'm being completely honest, I didn't really pay attention to all the soundtrack of Mario Kart Wii before making this video. What about you, Rob? No, not really. I was too distracted playing this game rather than listening to the music. Well, how are we gonna compare the musics then? Well, I guess we're gonna have to go on a music rampage. Wait, what do you mean? We're both gonna have to listen to both soundtracks at their fullest. Mario Kart Wii and Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing. Ah, great. That's gonna take forever, though. It's either that or you're gonna have to admit defeat towards this segment. Fine, we'll do it together. Okay, after quite some time, we've listened through the music, and here's what we have to say. Rob, you start off. The Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing has its variety of music. What I mean is that with all the characters in this game, you get your traditional Sonic music. With the inclusion of Samba, this weird Mexican dancing thing, you get this type of music. Samba! You also have this DJ type of person which creates music like this. Understand the concept of love. Not only that, but the music that goes with the courses fit in really well. I've said my part, what about you, Thunder? You do make some pretty decent points, but here's what I've got to say. Mario Kart Wii also has its variety of music. With so many courses on this game, there's music like N64 Bowser's Castle, which give it much of a more cinematic and dark theme. You also have courses like Dry Dry Ruins and Desert Hill, which both give the desert feeling. You also have fan favorites like Warrior's Gold Mine, which give it some sort of gold digging theme. No, not that type of gold digger. This one. This type of gold digging. When racing Warrior's Gold Mine, it feels like you're back in the 1850s and digging gold. And who can forget about Rainbow Road? I know Rainbow Road is quite overdone in every single Mario Kart game when it's mentioned, but you can't just ignore Rainbow Road like it's not a big deal. The Rainbow Roads have always been really well, up until Mario Kart 8, and that just adds how amazing music Mario Kart Wii has. So, what's your point now? My point is that with all the Mario Kart music compared to the Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing music, Mario Kart Wii has more of a variety. As in Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing, you do have music that is kinda old and is also quite enjoyable to listen to, but at the same time, once you hear it after so many times and even before this game was even released, it just in the end just loses the touch that it needs. Which is why I say, point goes to Mario Kart Wii. If I'm completely honest, Unlockables rather work interesting in this Sonic racing game. Throughout the hours you play on this game, you gain mileage, which is your currency in this game, which isn't that bad of an idea. I mean, the point of a game is to be played, so why not spend the hours playing this game when in return you can get currency to be able to unlock characters for your own use. In the Mario Kart franchise, you just have to complete cups and beat staff goals in order to unlock really anything, which has already been done in past Mario Kart games, and if I'm honest, it's already quite overdone. However, you do unlock all sorts of stuff like characters, carts, bikes, and courses. Characters allow you to be able to just choose more variety. Carts and bikes allow you to customize your ride and choose which cart or bike will allow you to have the best race to get the rankings you need. Sure, in the newer Mario Karts, you can customize your carts and bikes to allow them to have different wheels and gliders, but this is Mario Kart Wii, which sadly doesn't allow that option. And when you do unlock more courses, well, you're just able to play through more courses and see the amazing level designs like Bowser's Castle, Cooper Cave, and Moonview Highway. Thunder, judging from the outside, that seems quite boring. I mean, you beat staff goals and courses to get characters and vehicles, that's kinda boring. I mean, Mario Kart Wii does have a unique way of unlocking Rosalina. I know it may seem odd, but if you have the game Super Mario Galaxy, you can create a save file and you can automatically unlock a Rosalina. Did I forget to mention that with the currency you get in Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing, you can unlock characters, courses, and music? Not only that, but believe it or not, you actually have less unlocking to do compared to Mario Kart Wii. And even if you do have to unlock something, you can always choose when to unlock them, whereas in Mario Kart Wii, if you want to unlock a certain character, you have to go through a long process. Especially if the character needed involves mirror mode, which you have to beat the whole 150cc. Yeah, you are right. It is quite less painful in Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing to unlock characters and other stuff. I guess I'm gonna have to give a point to Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing. You know, I remember spending hours and hours playing this game. Mario Kart Wii sure may have not been the best Mario Kart game, but it sure was a hell of a lot of fun. I remember going through the time trials and beating as many stat codes as possible just to unlock the characters needed. Heck, the tournament mode was fun to go through. There was so much you could do with Mario Kart Wii before the Wii network was discontinued. Thunder, you do realize that unlike Mario Kart, with Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing, you can play on both portable console and home console. That is true. Like Rob said, you can have as much fun as you want with Mario Kart Wii, but you can only play it on the Wii, sadly. As for Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing, you can play it at home, on the go, in your bathroom, and you can still gain the experience anywhere. And you don't even need to be a Nintendo fan in order to be able to play this game, as you can play this game on smartphones, Xbox, PS3, and other consoles I forgot. Wait, you can play on smartphones? Yeah, you didn't know this stuff? Wow, I must be really far behind on news. However, that's only one part of this experience. Wait, what do you mean? You haven't even mentioned the rest of the segment. Huh? I'm confused. Here, let me explain. While yes, you can play Sonic and Sega All-Star Racings anytime, anywhere due to its playability on multiple consoles, the experience on when you actually play in the game is kinda eh. As for Mario Kart Wii, you do have the battle mode, which you have the choice to either play with friends or you have the choice to play it by yourself, but I highly recommend playing this with friends, as if you play this by yourself, it's kinda stale and it's not as great compared to the older battle modes in the past Mario Kart games. While the tournament and Wi-Fi races are discontinued, it'll always be something extra that you could do once you've completed the whole game. Thunder, as much as your arguments seem to sound really good, let me tell you something. Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing has a mission mode. You know, something that you keep asking for. Mission mode, I mean, mission mode would just be awesome. Like, mission mode, like, having to see mission mode is gonna be awesome. Like, I really can't imagine how mission mode can be, like, so awesome when it's brought back. Having to see mission mode is gonna be awesome. Like, I really can't imagine how mission mode can be, like, so awesome. Oh, wow. I actually did not realize that. Mario Kart Wii on the outset looks like a great game, and it is. However, compared to Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing, there's not much you can do. Sure, you have Grand Prix, Time Trials, Versus Mode, and Battle Mode, but after a while, you start to get bored of it. With the discontinuation of online modes like online battles and tournaments, it's just an average Mario Kart game. The addition of tricks to the game was quite unique for its entry, but doesn't hold up for much. Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing, on the other hand, still holds up to this day. The game leaves you with so much content to play around, and with the unique unlocking system, it will definitely leave you playing, hungry to achieve the best completion of the game. Which, in the end, I will have to admit that this final point goes to Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing. After comparing these two games, Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing did win this comparison. Which does mean I'm gonna have to review this game. This is gonna be interesting. I know I'm making this seem like it's bad, but if I'm completely honest, it was a fun game I used to play a lot. I remember playing the multiplayer with other people like friends and family, and we'd be playing this game for hours upon hours. And even though it was on the Wii, it was still fun to play through. Same thing goes with Mario Kart Wii. I remember spending hours upon hours playing the game both single player and multiplayer, and it was sure one hell of a time to play. But according to this way that this comparison was structured, Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing just does a tad bit better. Unexpectedly, to say the least. I'm not disappointed to present that Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing is now part of the Comparison Hall of Fame.